We're going to get to Trump in a second. Connor E's Pants literally texted me the Trump deep throat thing.
The 2024 presidential campaign in its last 3 days now, both major candidates making final blitzes in battleground states this weekend. We have team coverage this morning. ABC's senior White House correspondent.
I don't know if I'm crazy, but like one other vibes-based analysis that I will attribute to is that like Nate Silver is now talking about the poll herding, and I think that that's a really interesting take from the guy who has been consistently saying that Donald Trump is like dead ass going to win 100p this close out from the race. Like he has almost always maintained the position that like Donald Trump is going to win, Donald Trump is going to win, Donald Trump is going to win. And now he's saying it's obviously a really close race, but for some pollsters, it's a little too close. Take, for example, this afternoon's polling release from British firm Redfield and Wilton. They polled all 7 of the core battleground states. And in all 7, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump each received 47 and 48% of the vote. Isn't it a little too convenient? Whatever happens, Redfield and Wilton, not a firm with a well-established reputation in the U.S., will be able to throw up their hands and say, well, we projected a tie, so don't blame us. I think the reason why he is seeing that he must hedge his reputation in this direction means that he's also seeing what a lot of other people are seeing as well. But it's based on polling averages. Dozens of polls have been released in each of these states in the past month. That greatly increases the sample size. Collectively, they've surveyed about 230,000 voters. By contrast, the median sample in an individual poll is 800 voters. In a 49-49 race, in a poll of 800 people, assuming 2% goes to third parties, the theoretical margin of error for a difference between Trump and Harris is plus or minus 6 points. So why is it that Nate Silver, who was consistently on the Trump is going to definitely win train, looking at his averages, now leveraging into the Kamala direction? Now, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not even faulting people for saying Donald Trump is definitely going to win. Okay? The polls are very close, and I have always explained to you that Kamala's chances got worse and worse over the course of the past couple of months. The more you saw of her, the more you saw like what she wanted to communicate, and the more she pumped her campaign policies, the more Donald Trump seemingly did better in the polls. That is a fact. Kamala Harris has run an objectively bad campaign. That is a fact. Okay? So having said that, I think that Nate Silver also sees what everyone else is seeing and is trying to at least hedge his bets in the opposite direction. A lot of people also forget that as our media cycle and attention cycle gets shorter and shorter, as our media cycle and our attention cycle gets shorter and shorter, the maximum impact is happening right now, literally in these last couple of days. This last week is a very impactful week. I am going, I might be a little overboard by saying this, but like the Tony Hinchcliffe Trash Island line was legitimately impactful. This is when people are fucking signing up. This is when people are paying attention, when they're like, fuck, there's an election going on. Let me take a look. Damn. He said Puerto Rico's a trash island? What the fuck? And I think, is there a good progressive voting guide I can use for LA County? What will we be using? DSA-LA is pretty good. Just use that. So I think that like that's something that people need to pay attention to. I'm Puerto Rican American, and my whole family was enraged when they heard that comment. We all voted against Trump. Yep. I go to high school in Florida with tons of Latinos, mostly Puerto Rican and typically Andrew Tate type guys, are saying Trump. Dude, if that statement, if that line, if the Trash Island line causes Voldemort to lose his fucking Senate run, I will die. Okay? That will be a glorious moment. Can you imagine? Turnout is bad in Philadelphia for some of the deepest blue areas. She's not going to hit the numbers she needs unless whites vote for her at a level we've not seen for a Democrat in decades. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I agree with that. That's what I've been saying as well. I think like this is a race that is going to inevitably come down to white women, and this is this is a race that is going to inevitably come down to white women, specifically in the suburbs, and maybe some white men too. But most importantly, white women. That is what Kamala Harris is hinging her bets on. I think it's a bad bet. I think it's a risky bet. I think it's not a good idea at all. But I still do think that it's going to carry her across the finish line. I think also that Donald Trump's objectively awful race, objectively awful run is helping Kamala Harris because it's just reminding people of all of his worst qualities in general. Yeah, this is here. If you want to understand like how bad Trump is, how sauceless Trump is, this article, I think, does a pretty decent job of uncovering the problem. At the end of June, in the afterglow of a debate performance that would ultimately prompt President Joe Biden to end his campaign for re-election, Donald Trump startled his aides by announcing he'd come up with a new nickname for his opponent. The guy is an R word. He is R-worded. I think that's what I'll start calling him. Trump declared aboard his campaign plane en route to a rally that evening, according to the three people who heard him make the remarks, R-worded Joe Biden. That, like, I'm telling you right now, Chad, this is it. This is when you did too much internet. You did too much internet. You cannot run a campaign like this. You did too much damn internet, man. That's crazy. Normies don't care about ableism, though. Brother, literally in the real world, everyone says retard, okay? I'm just going to use it for now, for one moment, just so you understand. Every normal person uses it in normal conversations. Not a single person, notice how you reacted when I said it? Not a single person would ever find it normal for the president to say it. Do you not understand that? This is the exact same sentiment I keep repeating over and over and over again about. This is the exact same sentiment I am repeating over and over again about people who go above the boundary of permissible bigotry. Everyone has a very different set of standards. Okay? For example, I myself as a public figure, okay? I myself as a public figure do not use this word because there is a different standard for content creators. There's a different standard for progressive content creators. There's a different standard in comparison to the guys you went to college with, okay? Do you not understand it? You just did? Yes, dude, I did. It's obviously not to the same standard as the N-word. Shut the fuck up. Clip it, ship it, post it everywhere you want, okay? Most people, especially younger people, might use it, but when the president himself is saying it, that's an entirely different thing. Okay? Do you understand? I have no idea why it's even considered a word you can't say. It's the euphemism treadmill. Originally, idiot was the unacceptable word, so people started using the R word as a substitute. Now the R word is also unacceptable, but idiot is back in fashion. And it is what it is. People always will seek out a new pejorative. People will always seek out a new pejorative. That's just a normal thing. That's just how normal communication works. I use a litany of different ableist language in general, like psychotic, crazy, things like that, synonyms. I am not pro R word. Why are we pro R word now? No, dude, I'm not. Not only am I not pro R word, I'm saying that like it's insane for a presidential candidate to come out. Oh my God. I am not. Don't say it then. Simple. Okay, I'm going to start banning people. All right. They've been calling you autistic for the past month, but they're going to be mad you say the R word. Yeah, I know. It's fine. I mean, I'm also incredibly neurodivergent myself, as you guys know, but that's besides the point. It doesn't matter. Hasan, you're digging yourself into a hole. I'm not. The point is, you can't do this. And you certainly cannot do this as the president. You can't even do this, in my opinion, when the standards are different for someone who is technically a progressive content creator, right? Like, I'm certain that most Twitch streamers say it still. They let it fly like with regular frequency. Okay. And even in a relatively contextually appropriate manner, it's still an unacceptable thing to say because the standards are different for a public figure. Okay. No hate. I don't care that much, but it's not like you had to say it to make your point. I think that's what some people are mad about. Yeah. I don't care. You can be mad about it all day, every day. Who gives a fuck? Suck my dick. Okay, let's continue. You got people on TikTok using acoustic and restarted. They'll be fine. If anything, more people will respect you for saying the full word is the TikTok buzzword. Yeah, like a lot of people look for like alternatives, but that is besides the point. Okay. My point is, this is extremely online. You're hyper online. When you're the president and you think that this is an appropriate thing to say, you're hyper online. It plays into the larger problem with the Trump campaign. Okay? That is the point I was trying to make. Someone gifted you 20 subs. Kilo Grips, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Benign Burger, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. Now, having said that, of course, people use the word in private or in normal conversation everywhere outside of spaces like my own community. That even those people who use the word would find it appropriate for the president to say it. The standards are different. Anyway, I don't think his voters care, unfortunately. No, but there are people who literally, oh God, there are people who don't like Trump. They like the policies, but they can't stand how fucking annoying it is. Okay? Do you get it? Like, they can't stand how unprofessional, how crass, how rude he is. And for those people, this kind of thing, Trump's utilization of, or Trump even thinking that it would be a fantastic idea to use the R word on a public stage against Joe Biden, who ironically is experiencing like genuine mental decline. So I think it even is worse, right? Like, that makes it even worse. It's like saying that to someone with Down syndrome at that point. It's like, you are a vicious, monstrous piece of you are a vicious, monstrous piece of shit. Like, this was something that was a big deal in the debate, right? It was something that was a big deal in the debate. Like, Trump could not come across as though he was too aggressive towards Joe Biden, because then he would look like he was badgering an old man, kicking an old man while the old man is down. This is the type of stuff that like normies. No. He didn't actually use it. He said he wanted to use it. He didn't actually use it in public. That would have been crazy if he did. Not equipped to talk about this. Please move on from this. Yikes. Not equipped to talk about this on a serious level. Anyway, he also called Kamala R-worded. A frustrated Trump lashes out behind closed doors. Oh yeah, this was he's using gamer words, dude. He's going nutty. Isn't Trump on a mental decline as well? Yes, he is, for sure. And I'm actually going to get to that. That's like one of the main stories that I wanted to talk about today. Rick Scott was clearly panicking during the rally. All these male right-wing figures don't realize that not everyone finds their echo chamber talk acceptable. Exactly. This is the JD Vance issue, right? JD Vance spent too much time on the right-wing podcaster circuit, so he's too groiped up. He had to fucking dial it back. He can't be talking about femoids who are, brood mares, right? Like, he can't do that, because if you are doing a national campaign, if you're running for the highest office, if you're the vice president, you can't be fucking coming across like a weird breeding fetishist, right? Like, that kind of stuff might play well in a hyper niche environment where you're surrounded by all of these other freaks, right? But that shit is not going to fly in a national campaign, just because like this is a massively consequential. I feel like a certain community has trigger phrases they send to you, which they deem successful in getting your attention. Maybe. But it doesn't really matter. We ban them anyway. Like, if you're the type of person who in a conversation where I'm like directly talking about the different standards set for people and how like it's, not acceptable to use the R word as a prominent person on a national stage when you're running for fucking office, if your hyper focus is like me contextually using it, then, you're not a serious person at all. It doesn't matter. Anyway, please tell me they don't actually say broodmares. No, but they liken it to the same situation. It's like calling your girl a bitch around your friends, but when some random says it, it becomes completely inappropriate. Yeah, it's when Cutie Cinderella and myself and Will we'll be talking shit to one another on the podcast, right? Like, we're obviously friends with one another. Like, when Will be like, "You wet bitch" to Cutie, or when I say that, it's like entirely different than like someone who does not know Cutie Cinderella calling her a bitch. That is the most unacceptable thing you can do. Contextually appropriate scenarios, contextually inappropriate scenarios, while still, being edgy. But yes,
Selena Wang is covering Vice President Harris and joins us from Milwaukee. Selena, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Vice President Harris and Donald Trump are fighting for that sliver of undecided voters in Wisconsin. Both of them holding rallies here in Milwaukee last night. The vice president calling for unity and condemning Trump's violent language.
Are we ready to win? Are we ready to vote?
Overnight, Vice President Kamala Harris making an all-out push in battleground Wisconsin.
If you give me the chance to fight on your behalf, there is nothing that will stand in my way as I fight for you.
Leaning on superstar Cardi B and celebrity rappers to get out the vote.
Turned up with my healers, turned up with my sisters. If his definition of protection is
I love Glorilla and Cardi B too.
making sure our daughters have fewer rights than our mothers, then I don't want it.
Harris making her pitch for unity.
It is my pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans.
We're gonna get to Trump in a second. Connor East Pants literally fucking texted me the Trump deep throat thing while I was doing the podcast. He's like, you have to see this. And I'm going to get to that. He's lost his sauce. He's losing his fucking mind a little bit. We're going to take a look.
That is my pledge to you, Wisconsin.
The vice president firing up young voters.
You are determined to live free from guns, to take on the climate crisis. And I see you, and I see your power.
And while speaking to union workers, Harris pledging to lower the cost of living.
And at the top of my list is bringing down your cost of living. And it will be my focus every single day as president. I will always put the middle class first. I come from the middle class, and I never forget where I come from. I never.
The vice president condemning Donald Trump after he used violent rhetoric against former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, one of Trump's most outspoken critics.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Harris reacting with harsh criticism.
This must be disqualifying. Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president.
But Trump defending his rhetoric.
Was it necessary to make the comments about Liz Cheney?
Oh, yeah, sure. She's a war hawk.
Yeah, so the chicken hawk stuff is silly. It's like liberal shit. Like he very clearly was, I mean, he was invoking the firing squad analogy, certainly, when said like 9 barrels pointed at her. But like he absolutely was doing the classic chicken hawk shit. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're not old enough to remember, but back when people were actually anti-war in the Democratic Party, we used to say this about the Cheneys in general. We used to say this about George W. Bush. We used to say this about all politicians. This was a common trope in the anti-war movement in the Vietnam era. This is what Fortunate Son is literally about. Okay? When you hear the that CCR song is directly about how rich people don't go to war, senators don't go to war, senators' children don't go into war. It's the poor people that are drafted to go die in a war. Okay? That is the whole point. Someone reported Trump to the FBI for that statement. Yeah. It's funny because, like, obviously Elon Musk has said, like, incredibly violent shit, like way more violent shit than that. Trump has said way more directly violent things than that, made more violent promises, right? In terms of like sicking the military on his enemies, the enemy from within. These are actually violent statements. Him saying that, like, give a gun to Liz Cheney and have her sit in front of 9 barrels and let's see how she likes it, is just him basically invoking the age-old adage that these people would have a very different attitude if their lives were actually on the line. They would not be advocating to go to these wars in the same way that they do now, because they know that they will never suffer the worst consequences. That's all it is. And I don't like it because, like, it gives more motion and more momentum to Donald Trump to portray himself as like someone who is constantly clipped out of context in an area where he is now in the last moment where all eyes are on both of these campaigns. In the last moment, he can present himself as anti-war now. Why are you downplaying this? I'm not. I'm offering you actual context to his statements. He has said infinitely more violent shit. This does not meet that standard. And not only that, but also consistently hyper-focusing on this statement as though this is the most violent thing that he has actually said, unironically allows him to look at the entire fucking field of play and say, see, I'm anti-war. I said she wouldn't want to go. If she had to go to war, she'd have a very different attitude. And the media is lying because the media loves war. They're in the tank for Kamala Harris, who also loves war. Okay? I can't believe we're going to click on this, but Glenn Greenwald is not wrong. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's staggering to watch, especially since I was part of the group who was saying this. Now to watch these people turn around and faint with horror when Trump says the exact same thing is suffocating, the stench of their shameless dishonesty could choke an elephant to death. Democrats spent 25 years saying that Dick Cheney's kids should have to go fight in a war, and all it took was Donald Trump agreeing with him, with them to change their minds. I cannot believe I'm like, under no circumstances do you have to hand it to fucking Glenn Greenwald, but in this situation, it is dangerously allowing an opportunity for Donald Trump to turn around and present himself as anti-war again and again and again. Every single time this kind of shit plays in mainstream media, Fox News and all the fucking right-wing commentators can turn around and disingenuously present themselves as anti-war, as Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are so pro-war. They're so, they're so pro-endless wars. The reality of the matter is Trump is also pro-endless wars. There is a uniparty approach to war, okay? But if one party is not saying anything, about the endless wars, or maybe even, dare I say, defending the concept of endless wars, and the other party, on the other hand, is at least presenting themselves as anti-war, this gives them an opportunity, this gives them an advantage over the other party, because Americans broadly consider themselves to be anti-war. Okay? While both parties are pro-war and pro-genocide, the obviously pro-war and pro-genocide party, which is the Republican Party as well, at least historically, is now at the very least trying to present themselves as people that want to end the wars. And they do it in a way that is, I think, great for the hogs to comprehend. Peace through strength. Okay? They present strength and they say, I'm going to be dominant. I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to fucking, light the oil refineries on fire or whatever, the Iranian nuclear facilities on fire in an effort to stop them. Now, we who understand what that means, who understand the track record of the Republican Party, look at that and go, oh my God, that is an escalation. But most dummies look at that and go, well, Trump, no new wars under his administration is the way they analyze the situation. They don't think about the Abraham Accords. They don't think about the Iran denuclearization agreement. And the Democrats have not communicated that there is a difference there between them and the Republican Party. This allows them to basically fucking run the table on this shit. I understand the whole peaceful dove stuff, but is he really doing effective messaging in that regard? He hasn't so far because he's flubbed it too many times. Having said that, however, this is when people are tuning in. This is when people are paying the most attention. You don't want this to be in the media cycle. You don't want this like, oh, Democrats are saying like he wanted to fucking line up Liz Cheney and kill her. And then you're in defense of Liz Cheney while Donald Trump has 30 points on you on Israel, Palestine. You don't want that, okay? You do not want that. That is a terrible place to be in. This is what happened in 2016. This is how Donald Trump was able to successfully make himself seem like a moderate and an anti-war peaceful dove candidate against Hillary Clinton, okay? This is how you get a lot of people who are, who fancy themselves to be anti-war to like falsely believe that the side that is at least communicating an anti-war message, they falsely start believing the side that's at least communicating an anti-war message into being actually anti-war when they are not anti-war. Make no mistake. It is a very frustrating thing to watch unfold. And I don't know how many times I have to explain how dangerous this is. So if reps lie, why can't Kamala at least lie? Well, you have just arrived at my, what I've been saying non-fucking stop. goes to Milwaukee to insult Giannis. If he goes to Pennsylvania and says Joe Flacco was better than Ben Roethlisberger, and then goes to North Carolina and does a rally with Coach K, I'm going to assume he's trying to throw this thing.
Your team is very good. I would say the Greek is a seriously good player. Do you agree? And tell me, who has more Greek in him, the Greek or me? About the same, right?
Oh my God. That's insane. Bro, that's a major point of contention, dude. That is unimaginably racist, dude. Oh my God. The Bucks are ass is the worst part. Brother, it doesn't matter. Bro, I don't get it. Giannis is calling him the Greek and not the Greek freak is also funny. Yeah. So, okay. Giannis, okay. I don't want to, I'm going to his last name. Giannis Antetokounmpo, did I say it correctly? Also known as the Greek freak, okay, is a Milwaukee Bucks power forward, okay? And he is the son of immigrants from Nigeria, okay? And his father was a soccer player. His mother was a high jumper in Nigeria. 3 years earlier, they had moved from Lagos, leaving their firstborn son, Francis, under the care of his grandparents. Antetokounmpo grew up in the Athens neighborhood of Sepolia in a primarily Nigerian household. His parents, as immigrants, worked without permits, could not easily find work. So Giannis and his older brother, Thanasis, helped by hawking watches, handbags, and sunglasses in the streets. In 2007, Antetokounmpo started playing basketball. Antetokounmpo. Okay, Greek freak. So he has an incredible story of perseverance through tremendous hardships. But the fact that he is like saying, thank God I was warned that you cover political and sensitive subjects. Yeah, you got it. Don't worry. So you have been saying it correctly. Okay. Thank you. So the fact that like he is questioning his like Greek background, that is like been a point of controversy because he didn't even immediately gain his fucking Greek citizenship. Look, they were born in Greece. They did not automatically receive a Greek citizenship as Greek nationality law follows jus sanguinis. Growing up, he sometimes felt like an outsider to both the Greek and Nigerian communities in Athens due to his parents' heritage and different skin color in the former, and due to the lack of understanding of the Yoruba or Igbo languages in the latter. For the first 18 years of his life, Antetokounmpo could not travel outside the country and was effectively stateless, having no papers from Greece or Nigeria. He was eventually issued Greek citizenship on May 9th, 2013, less than 2 months before the NBA draft. After gaining Greek citizenship, his official surname became the Greek transcription of Antetokounmpo, which was then transliterated letter for letter and officially spelled in his Greek passport as Antetokounmpo. Giannis is a modern Greek variant of Giannis John. Because many NBA fans could not pronounce his name, he quickly became known as the Greek freak. He also now holds a Nigerian citizenship, having received his Nigerian passport in 2015 and such possesses dual citizenship. He has stated that he feels both Greek and Nigerian and that he embraces his both Greek and as well as African Nigerian identity. So do not bring up the fact that he is not a Turkish freak. I know his parents should have come to Turkey. They would have immediately gotten citizenship and he wouldn't have had to ball super hard to be able to achieve that status. Okay. I don't want to get into it. It's a major L for the Turkish government. The Turkish government should offer a welcoming hand to every migrant. Okay. I think that they were literally in Turkey and they were, I don't know if that's like a fucking fake Greek lie made up or if they actually were driven out of Turkey. Don't be sad, bro. You got NS Conte. Yeah, he sucks. He is so fake for this, not because it's subtly racist, but we are ass right now. This is not fair to Giannis, as we have Pat Connaughton playing terrorist basketball and Doc Rivers. They were actually drove out of Turkey before he was born. That seems like it's Greek propaganda. I'm just going to say it. But the point is, Trump claiming that he is just as Greek as Giannis is just a not so subtle white supremacist dog whistle. Do you understand? Like he just straight up talking about a dude who has had tremendous hardships specifically because he was considered literally stateless in Greece, okay, for most of his fucking life. To say that he is not real, he's not a true Greek, and that like, oh, I might be just as Greek as he is. That is incredibly fucking racist. Yeah, thank God we have Şengün, Alperen Şengün, my goat. So yeah, it is a truly, truly racist remark to question the nationality status of a Nigerian immigrant because they are black and because they're Nigerian. Like, you would never say that about a white person from the Balkans that moved to Greece or some shit. That would not happen. No one would ever point to that. Okay? Absolutely not. And it's exactly the same kind of racist sentiment that that is the underpinning of his white nativist anti-immigrant policies anyway. So it's shocking that he would say that. It's not shocking that people in that audience would laugh at that, but it is interesting to think that would be appropriate to say in fucking Milwaukee of all places.
In these final days, Vice President Harris is stressing that Donald Trump's language is becoming more extreme. And we're learning new details about Harris's plans the day before the election. Her campaign is planning to hold rallies in all 7 battlegrounds, tying them together in a national live stream. Gio?
All right, Selena, thank you so much.
No, right where that young lady is, John is sitting there. And I called him. I said, could you come back? And he comes backstage. Thank you very much.
Here's the dick sucking moment. My asexual, biromantic, autistic queen. He's just queening, okay? He's doing the damn thing. I need you to understand, okay? A lot of you do not understand the autistic, aromantic, bisexual swag that Donald Trump has. He is stimming here, okay? You're going to watch a man stim, and I don't want you to be fucking ableist, all right? I got to pee.
Mike. You got to be kidding. Do you want to see me knock the hell out of people backstage? I don't mind if they want to come up a little forward or something, but it's a pretty stupid situation, but that's okay. I get so angry. I'm up here seething. I'm seething. I'm working my ass off with this stupid mic. I'm blowing out my left arm. Now I'm going to blow out my right arm, and I'm blowing out my damn throat, too, because these stupid people. I'll make you a deal. Pretend you're listening to it perfectly, and I'll come back and do another one, okay? With a decent... It's so stupid. And you know, the only thing I ask for, I don't care about lighting. I don't care about teleprompters, because I never read the damn things anyway. By the way, isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a frickin' teleprompter? But I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much. The only thing I ask for is a good mic. And this is the second time today that this happened. So now if I were the president, and like a dopey guy like this Kelly, the guy's a total moron, and that happened, I'd fire him, and everybody would say, gee, I'm such a bad person. You're not bad. You fire people. When, for instance, the generals that destroyed us in Afghanistan, every one of them should have been fired. Should have been fired. Hello? Hello? I don't think so. Hello? Is that better? Is that better?
I know what he's going through better than anybody else, dude. There is nothing more annoying than audio issues in front of a fucking crowded arena, okay? I feel like the experience that he's having right now is straight up one-to-one, like something that I can comprehend better than anybody else, okay?
That's terrible. Is that better back there? Is that yes or no? What crap. The only thing I ask for is a mic. You don't have to give me, I don't even need a stage. I don't give a damn. Give me a good mic. And I went through 2 of these today. And it knocks the hell out of your throat. But so far I'm doing okay, right? Okay. Is that better? Yeah. And did you notice I came in today, I said, and this is after 4 of these things. I mean, in all fairness, I'm a human being, right? I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said, so I had to go way too low. Way too low. So I walk in, I said, shit, there's nothing worse than I walk in like this, and did you notice? I was bending over like this, hello. And then everybody says, is there something wrong with this?
Did I miss the gluck gluck? Hold up.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm a human being, right? I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said, so I had to go.
What is he doing? What the hell is going on, dude? What the hell is going on? What the hell? Sauceless? Has he lost it? Or does the sauce remain?
Way too.
How is this the worst rally? Your assessment went array. No, I hadn't seen it. I only saw clips of it, and I was like, I'm like, I feel like he's losing it a little bit.
Too low, way too low. So I walk in, I said, shit, there's nothing worse than I walk in like this, and I'm, did you notice? I was bending over like this, hello. And then everybody says, is there something wrong with his back? What the hell is wrong with that guy? They're saying, he's cognitively impaired and physically impaired. There's something wrong with them all because I have guys that are stupid back there. All right, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? What a shame. But we're going to come back. I'm going to give you a free performance back in that corner. You got a bad area back there. But I think this is better. I think it's probably better.
To the Republican side now with former President Trump, who
there was the end of the rally that I thought was crazy. Also, Faker. Which 3 celebrities do you want to have a meal with? Song Hyo-min, Woo Sung-hyuk, and Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud is that's why he's the president. That's why he's my president. Okay. November surprise, Trump is by. That's not a surprise. Last YouGov/Times poll in battleground states: Arizona, Trump up by 1, Georgia, Trump up by 2, North Carolina, Trump up by 1, Nevada showing Harris +1, Pennsylvania, Harris +2, Michigan, Harris +2, Wisconsin, Harris +3. This is a lock for Harris to win. For the record, like, she just needs this. I mean, she needs this. And if this comes as well alongside it. And that is their pathway to victory. Just want to mention, Trump just called his employees stupid in front of a rally. Luckily, he didn't say garbage. I mean, Trump has called his own supporters garbage. Trump has called the cities that he's attended garbage. Trump has called Democrats garbage. Trump can say whatever he wants, chat. Think about it this way. The dynamic is the exact same. I'm gonna like reduce it to online drama. Okay? In the field of online commentary, if you're presenting yourself as a right-winger or even a bad guy, okay, nobody's expectations of you are high. The standard is already set for you. You can get away with doing whatever the fuck you want. You can do bad guy shit all day, every day. And not only can you do bad guy shit all day, every day, you can then turn around and point to someone like myself and say, that is actually a real bad guy because he's hypocritical. Okay? Because the standards, if you are at least on the progressive side, ostensibly, okay, the standards are unimaginably high. And it's oftentimes not even a standard set by yourself. People can just like make up whatever standard you should have and then call you hypocritical for not abiding by the fake standard that they set for you. Okay? That's it. People who are apolitical or right-wing can get away with just being like, I'm a sociopath. I'm a bad person. I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm selfish. I'm only interested in myself. And people will go, hell yeah, brother. He's just like me. He's being honest. He's being real. He's being a real one right now. Okay? And then they can also turn around and go, that guy is faking being a good guy. He's actually a piece of shit. And people go, yeah, you're right. He tells it like it is. That guy does suck. That's the reality in the political stage as well. Donald Trump is a bad guy, and he has successfully set his own standards for himself. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, and the media just basically goes along with that. What are you going to do? That's just Trump, you know? That's just Trump. And I think, yes, I know Van had a really good take on this. It is also obviously white supremacy as well. Like white mediocrity plays a role in this as well, certainly. But I think it's beyond that because Bernie Sanders is a white guy. Think about the unimaginable standards placed upon Bernard Sanders. Why? Because he's a socialist, right? He's an old socialist guy. So they were like, oh, I can't believe you have 3 houses, Bernie, you fake ass, you phony. It's like his retirement fund is marginal in comparison to like the average accountant. Okay. And people are losing their minds over it. As a matter of fact, even leftists do the same thing. Okay. Even leftists do it to other leftists. Think about it. Immediately, someone was like, he's a Zionist. In terms of like Bernie Sanders' advocacy against Israel, he has literally gone above and beyond for the 800 years that he's been in Congress in terms of like trying to put enforcements on the weapons transfers to Israel before half of these motherfuckers that are, you know, angry at him. And I myself am critical of his position as well, for the record. But like, having said that, I'm also more understanding of you know, where he's at, okay, or where he's coming from. It's kind of crazy to just be like, he fucking sucks, when you're thinking about a guy who was literally saying things that were completely considered unacceptable about Israel before you even developed consciousness, okay? Like, before you knew what Israel even fucking was. So we do this. We also do this to ourselves. We think it's self-crit. We think it's, you know, it's just a tendency that people have, you know? Yeah, Bernie brought up Gaza in the 2020 primary debates. Unheard of. Bernie literally also straightforwardly said, I want to stop weapons transfers to Israel. I want to do conditional aid to Israel in 2016 and 2020. Think about that. And that's how it is. Some of these white leftists think they're a third world Maoist in the way they speak instead of actually doing proper analysis of the imperial core law. Exactly. So you watching the Ringer podcast makes me so happy. You helping pay my salary. What? Ringer podcast takes.